Shawana Kennedy Media. Uh, is anyone paying attention when you try to show your expertise? Are you trying everything you know to stop the scroll so that potential clients buy from you? Today, we're answering the question, what's the best way to create demand for my services? And the answer to that, and what we're going to talk about, is visibility and demand creation. And this is all coming from this week's blog, How to Position Your Business for Six-Figure Growth. All right. Now, if you want to follow along with the blog portion, go to shaycannon.com/position. That's shaycannon.com/position. All right. Because what we understand is a lot of us have a great service. A lot of us are great experts. We have a great knowledge base. However, our business is not positioned for growth, right? What we understand is just because you build it does not mean they will come. You have to position yourself for the things that you want your business to experience. So, positioning is a deliberate way for you as an entrepreneur to define and present your business so that the right people instantly see the value, trust its ability to deliver, and choose your brand every time over any other option. Okay, so that's the positioning. Now, one way to position your business is to position the offer and your pricing. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to help you to be able to stop competing on price. Now, if you want to know more about that, we talked about that on Monday in part one. So go to part one from Monday. I even gave you 10 strategies to position your offer and pricing for power. Okay. Another way of positioning is making sure that you are controlling the perception of your brand through the experience that clients have with your brand. Okay. So, what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to have premium pricing because you've positioned that brand to be a premium brand. And I gave you 10 strategies on just how to position that premiumness for your brand. Okay. Today, we're answering the question, what's the best way to create demand for my services? And that is going to be visibility and demand creation. In positioning, this is about ensuring that your business is not only seen, okay, but the right audience sees it. Okay, it's also sought after because of the value and the authority that you project out there as visibility. Now, it's the difference between chasing clients and having them come to you already convinced you're the solution they need. For entrepreneurs like you, this is a form of positioning that fuels business growth by building consistent awareness, deepening market trust, and creating a natural pull toward your offers. Okay? Demand. That's what we're talking about. When your presence is strategically placed, where your ideal buyers are paying attention, and when your reputation precedes you, okay, you shorten the sales cycle, you increase the conversion rate. In other words, you're going to get more sales, right? And you generate a steady flow of opportunities or leads. So, strong visibility paired with authentic demand, what it does is it transfers your business or transforms your business from one of many options into the obvious choice. So, making success and revenue goals far more attainable. All right. So, that's what's in the blog. But here on the morning show, I give you more. So I got some great strategies for you today. Okay. And I say great because we've talked about positioning and visibility before. All right. So it was a little hard for me to come up with 10 more strategies that we haven't always talked about. Now, what have we always talked about? We've always talked about speaking as visibility and positioning. We've always talked about contributing writing. We've always talked about press and getting PR, right? We've always talked about those things. So I had to dig deeper. What else can you guys do to really position that visibility to start creating more demand for your offers? Well, I dug deep and I still got your 10 strategies. All right. So, the top 10 strategies to position your brand for demand through visibility. Number one, signature visibility anchor. Signature visibility anchor. What do I mean by that? Establish one recurring public facing activity like a monthly live stream or a theme podcast episode or something that becomes a reliable touch point for your offer to, I'm sorry, for your audience to engage with you. What do you think this morning show is? Okay. It's a signature visibility anchor, has been for 3 years now. Now, I will be switching it up for 2026, but this has been exactly what that says. I have established a reoccurring public facing activity that is reliable as a touch point, and you guys, as the audience, can engage with me as the expert. So, you need to figure out what your version of that can be. Okay. Number two, strategic event hijacking. Strategic event hijacking. Now, you guys have heard of news hijacking, right? And jumping on trends, trend hijacking. But what about strategic event hijacking? Now, what that is aligning your marketing and your events with other trending industry events or news or seasonal moments to ride the wave of existing attention, okay? And attract fresh eyes to your brand based on that. Now, it's crazy because I've done this before. You guys know that one of my mentors is Lamar Tyler of Traffic Sales and Profit, and TSP has these two events every year, and it attracts thousands of entrepreneurs, many of which are my ideal client. So when AI first came out, what I did was I hijacked the attention of this event, and I created, as a part of that event, a dinner invite for people to come and talk about AI for their business. So the same things that I taught y'all about AI, I then taught live at a dinner gathering of people at this event, and had a lot of people to sign up and people to show up, right? So we had a conversation about AI, and I told them if they wanted to get a great guide on AI for their business, they can sign up for it. So basically I did a live lead magnet opportunity. So the same people that came to the dinner then went to that page and signed up to get the guide that I kind of gave them information from. So now I have their email address. Okay, so that's an example. So I've done that before. But recently, somebody in my network is doing it in another way that I think that you guys can understand better for hijacking events. Now, if you are into sales and leads and all of that, there in content creation, there's no way you don't know about Alex Hormozi. If you don't know about Alex Hormozi, there's no way you are serious about your content, because he, even if you don't know what he does, he is famous for pushing out a lot of content. He is second, I think, only to like Gary Vee, and then I think he surpassed Gary Vee at one point. Okay, so I want to show you how someone in my network is hijacking the fact that this Saturday he is doing a huge book launch. Now, the last book launch had all of us in a chokehold globally. Okay, when he did, so he's known for his book, $100 million offer. Then he came out with the second book last year called $100 million leads. Okay, this year and on Saturday he is launching $100 million business model or something like that. $100 million models. We waiting on this book. Let me just tell you, I've already pre-ordered mine. I'm already a VIP for the extra stuff because I don't play by my Alex Hormozi. Okay, so there is a lady in my network who has, let me share my screen, basically hijacked the attention from this event. Here we go. So this is Audra Richmond. Audra Richmond is known for marketing. Her thing is called uncloned marketing. She doesn't want you to look like everybody else, right? So she's doing an Alex Hormozi book launch debrief. So the book launch is on Saturday the 16th. She's having this debrief event on the 17th because Alex does so many things, it's worth breaking it down to teach other entrepreneurs how to do these same things for their offer. Okay. Now, I think that is great. Now, the way that I took advantage of the event last year was I did an email that broke it all down. I did a morning show episode that broke it all down, so that you guys would also get tips and tricks and strategies from what he did. Well, she's doing an entire event, and you can do that kind of thing too. Okay, so that was a great example of that. And you, I'll get good stuff. And we only on number 2. Let's go to number 3. Niche specific language domination. Okay, niche specific language domination. Let me tell you how most of us as Black people, we love renaming stuff. We love calling stuff the way we want to call it. Well, that's a strength when it comes to visibility and positioning through demand, right? So redefining the language used, the views believed, the stories told as how to start something, and what success looks like. Those are some examples of what you can redefine. And what we're going to do is now use this redefining, this new definition, consistently to get buy-in for domination. And what that's going to do is it's going to catch on and become the way to define it among your specific audiences. Okay, I do it all the time. I can't even think of a example. Maybe one way I do it is I understand that when you use the words project management, then people want you to have a PMP or a certification. But if you use the words project execution, project coordination, which could be some of the same things, knocking off some of the stuff that don't matter as much to entrepreneurs, then now you can dominate the conversation with your particular expertise. So, what is something that you can rename so that you can knock negative connotations off, make it what you want it to be, and have people identify it the way you want it to be identified? Another example is when I first started coaching, I called it entrepreneur coaching. Okay. Not many people was calling it entrepreneur coaching. Why did I call it that? Because at the time that I got into coaching, quote unquote business coaching had a bad reputation. Them folks was out there not getting people to transformation and taking all of their money. So I didn't want to be identified as a business coach. I wanted to be identified as an entrepreneur coach. Also, how I redefined it was a business coach may be coaching on the business. I understand I'm coaching the person for the betterment of the business. So entrepreneur coaching. So that's an example of how you too can redefine stuff in your niche and dominate based on the language that you create. All right. Number 4, create mini series campaigns. I'm always in Heather's inbox about how she can come in talking about book writing, book launching, book editing, anything with books and language around writing. I'm forever in her inbox saying, hey, you can do a series kind of like this. Hey, do a series on that. So you can create mini series campaigns. Now, they don't have to be something that's ongoing. It can be a limited series. You know how Netflix got series that are supposed to be ongoing, and then they have series that are limited series, which means there's an end that's already been scheduled. You can do that. You don't have to go on and on with the same thing. You can end it. It could be a series that's only a week. It could be a series that's a month. It could be a series that's 3 months. But what you want to do is release short themed content campaigns over a set period to dominate attention around a specific topic or problem that your clients face. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example, but I also want to go a little deeper. You're gonna create a recurring high value content series that becomes a regular source for your audience, but it doesn't have to again be, ongoing to the point that you don't know when it ends. Okay, but you might want to ongoing create limited series, more than one series. Okay, because what you're doing is you're building anticipation around something that now makes your brand more familiar over time, right? So you become known for giving information in limited series that's valuable, catching their attention. Now, this is not business related, but this is an example of a mini series. Now, he's doing this long term. Like it first started out as just a way for him to do content, but now it's caught on. Okay. Now, let me share my screen because, again, it's not business related, but it's an example of how somebody is doing a series that was limited, but now it's ongoing. This guy, his name is Dexter McKinney Jr. I love this dude, okay? Because what he does is he has now created a series where he is what do you call it? Mimicking Judge Judy. So the audio is Judge Judy. But the theme of it is Judge Judy is a gangster. She's a mob boss. Because that is how Judge Judy talks. She does talk like a mob boss. She just don't have the mannerisms to go with it. But what he does is he dresses up like the gangster. He adds the mannerisms. He's mouthing to her audio, and it's the series is Judge Judy be sounding like a mob boss. Now this says part 4. This man is now in the double digits, heading to the triple digits of episodes of him doing this. How can you create something creative where you can get your point across in a theme as a series? Okay. All righty. Let's go to our next strategy. Next strategy, story-driven PR features. Story-driven PR features. A lot of you, you've learned about Halo and things like that to kind of answer when media people need information, and you can show up as the person to be featured in something. But a lot of y'all don't really know how to pitch the media to be featured by stuff. Because what you don't understand is it can't just be that you're the expert. It can't just be about your offer. In fact, it probably can't be about your offer at all. It can't just be about your business. What it has to be is some story that journalists or that platform's audience would be interested in. What story are you telling so that they want to know more about the author of this story, and then the author of that story has a business. So pitch your personal and brand stories to relevant media outlets, emphasizing human interests that resonate with your ideal market. Okay, so if y'all don't know by now, I have a friend that does a whole bunch of writing for a whole bunch of different platforms. His name is Kamanzi Constable. You can look him up on Facebook. Sometimes he's looking for pitches for specific things that he want to write about, but he also has platforms that he writes about where he wants you to pitch him for a story. But you guys have to understand, you have to pitch in a way that people would want to read it. Right? You don't even have to write it. Just pitch it. He'll write it, right? The journalist will write it, but what are you pitching to be written about? What is the story that would be of interest to humans that happen to be your ideal clients? So start learning how to pitch some stuff for some of your favorite platforms, because that is a great way to be featured, not just added in as a part of it, right? You could be the focus of it. All right. Number 6, collaborative industry roundtables. Okay, so organize online or in-person discussions with multiple experts in your niche, positioning yourself as the connector and central authority. Okay, the last time I did a virtual summit, it was 5 days, but I think I did one training and I did one interview. And the interview that I did per day, so I did 5 total interviews, was someone else in my industry of operations for businesses, somebody else that helps you with your business growth, right? So what that did was it allowed me as the host to not just be the only expert in the conversation, but as an expert, have a conversation with another practitioner that could benefit your business growth. So you guys can do these kind of roundtables too, okay? And the benefit of that is not only are you bringing great information to your audience, you're also borrowing their audience, because what are they going to do? They're going to let people know that they're going to be a part of this interview. So their people are going to come and your people are going to come, and now you've gotten twice the exposure. Okay, cool. Number 7, contrarian future forecasting. So what I want y'all to start doing as the expert is share bold but well-researched predictions about your industry. Okay, that and even better if they challenge some of the common beliefs in your industry. But I need y'all to start saying, hey, as an expert, this is what I see coming down the line. As an expert, this is what I've seen rise up. As an expert, this is what I've seen work that's probably going to work even better in the future. Y'all see me do it all the time. In fact, at the end of the year, I started doing my predictions for the next year. This year will be my 3rd time doing it, where at the end of 2025, I will do my top predictions for 2026 in business growth. So you guys can do that too, because that solidifies you as an expert. It's going to bring visibility, because people want to know, what do people think is coming next, so I can try to position myself as an early adopter or get ready for the change. Okay. Number 8, authority infused lead magnets. Now, this is something else you can do. Once y'all get the media, this is something else you can do to leverage the media you've already gotten. Okay, so we love to say I've been featured by NBC, whatever, right? Okay, let's go back and use that been featured by NBC to recapture it. Create a lead magnet based on the information that you stood as an expert resource for, and you're going to garner attention from the NBC, right? So create downloadable resources that demonstrate the how of something that you've done authority from your expertise that was probably only the what and the why. Let me give you an example. Now, I have not done this yet, but I want to give you an example of how I could do it, okay? So let me share my screen. All right. Cool beans. There you go. So I wrote an article for Thrive Global. It's called "Don't Make a Prison of Entrepreneurship, infusing freedom into your business." Right. And so I gave them, I think it was 5 ways to do it. So design your business around your joy, balance your active and passive income, repurpose your content, use automation in your business, hire a team. Now, in this article, I really kind of only talked about what you can do, why to do it, why it's important, and probably like some of the transformation you can get. But what if I now today took this article, okay, from I think it was 2020. Let me see. Yeah, February 10th, 2020. I can still leverage this article today by saying, hey, I created a downloadable guide on how to do each of these 5 things that was featured in Thrive Global. So people are going to be attracted by the Thrive Global because most businesses trying to grow their business, they know about Thrive Global. They know that's Ariana Huffington's other platform. It's not just Huffington Post. She also has this platform. So this is another way that you can go and leverage and repurpose content from past media, use it for visibility, therefore creating more demand. All right. Great. I'm giving y'all some good examples today. Okay, so the next thing is number 9, proprietary case study releases. Shawana Kennedy Media and I talk about this all the time. Dr. LaFera has entered the chat on that also. What we talk about is conduct research and share original case studies in your industry to create visibility and become a cited source in the future conversations for examples of either success or peril. Okay, so to put that in other words, whatever you teach as a philosophy, right? Whatever is the mission vision behind your service, go out there and find people who are doing it right or doing it wrong, and therefore they're at peril because they're not following what you think they should be following. And those are the case studies. So you research that stuff, you share the research. Now, Shawana Kennedy Media, Dr. LaFera, and I know somebody in our network that is very good at that. Okay. Her name is Casey Brown. And I want to give you an example of how she does it. So let me share my screen. And she does it. This is like a content series for her. So go back to that as a strategy. So this is where she's using is a ray. It's a ray. All right. So she just says plot twist. We were never supposed to see her face. She was supposed to stay behind the camera. Now, Casey Brown is somebody that is big in visibility and personal brand. So the case studies that she puts forward are how people use personal brand as a business strategy to create demand and sell stuff. Right? So she goes into all of this stuff. She does her brand of it. She discusses it. She's infusing her philosophies. Okay. And then PS, don't make this complicated. Use the camera and start documenting. You don't need to create content. You're an expert. You already are the content. So she's talking about personal branding because that directly leads you to the offers that she has in one way or another. Okay. So you can go and find these people that are interesting case studies that can bring more visibility of you being the critique of that case study and sharing it. Okay. Last but not least is number 10, high profile guest or topic validation. Now, It's a few things in here, so listen close, because this is kind of like 4 strategies in one. You can write about one, a validated guest. When I say validated, I mean by your audience, validated by your ideal client. Write about a validated guest, right? Or have a validated contributor for your writing platforms. Write on a validated topic, okay? Or write on a validated platform. Okay, so when I wrote for Thrive Global is a validated platform. My people see it as valid. Okay, so we want to use ways that our audience, our ideal clients, have already deemed this a valid, credible platform for the thing that they would need our service for. Okay, so how do we get in on high profile versions of that? You can write about a validated guest. You can have a validated guest write for your platform. You can write on a validated topic. You can write on a validated platform. Okay, so for example, 2 weeks ago, we talked about AEO, okay? Answer engine optimization. This is a validated topic. This is something that most people that are in my ecosphere, in my audience, that are my ideal clients want to know about when it comes to their business growth, because it has to do with organic growth. We are always looking for ways to grow our business where we don't have to pay money for it, right? So I wrote on that topic. That topic garnered more eyes from the morning show. I've now been interviewed by it. I have somebody that wants me to write an article on it. So it's going on and on. Okay. So that's something else that you can do. High profile guest or topic validation. Okay. Who? Now, question of the day. Let me grab it. That was a mouthful. I feel like I've been talking for 75 hours. All right. Let me drop it in the studio. Let me drop it over here on the YouTube. Good morning, Glow. Glow says she liked my glasses, y'all. Y'all like my glasses? Yeah, I don't wear these often. Okay. Cool. So the question of the day, which 2 strategies from this list would work great for positioning your brand for more visibility that would create more demand for your offers, and what obstacles might you have to implement it? Okay, you know, I'm always trying to see, do you have any obstacles so we can solve it? Ain't no use you thinking it's a great strategy, and then when you go to try to implement the strategy, you have a problem. Go ahead and start thinking now, today, would you have a problem? So this expert right here can help you get up out of it. Okay. Now, we're going to start with Dr. LaFaro when I come back from the recap, but I'm going to recap the 10 strategies without all the extra first, all right? So these are the top 10 strategies to position your brand for demand through visibility. And we're going beyond the stuff we've talked about for years. So number 1, a signature visibility anchor. Establish one kind of public facing activity that is reliable, a touch point, and people can engage with you. Okay. Number 2, strategic event hijacking. I gave you an example of me having a dinner at a huge event, pulling in their some of their audience into an audience for my event. I gave you the example of Audra Richmond capitalizing and leveraging what Alex Hormozi is doing this weekend. Number 3, niche specific language domination. Come on, let's start redefining some of this stuff so that we can knock off negative connotation, take over, dominate that word, and get it out there the way we want it to be seen. Okay. Number 4, mini content series campaigns. These could be ongoing. These could be limited. However, I gave you the example of the George Judy as a Gangster content series. Find out something that you can do that is a cohesive theme that can be a series of how you impart information to your people as an expert. Number 5, story-driven PR features. Y'all need to start pitching to be in the media now. Stop trying to be passive and see if, you know, what they're looking for is you. Go ahead and start pitching yourself, but it has to be around a human interest story. What would they be interested in? Not just you, the expert, not just your offers, not just your business. What's in it for the reader? Number 6, collaborative industry roundtables. Y'all need to start hosting other experts. Get that borrowed audience in there. Get your audience more excited about what you're presenting to them. Number 7, we're just going to say future forecasting. Okay. Y'all need to get on this using your expertise and the research you're doing as an expert to let your audiences know what's coming down the pipeline, what they should know about something. Get in the forefront and tell them what the future is going to be like to help ready them for that future. Number 8, authority infused lead magnets. Y'all need to start taking some of these top tier speaking engagements, top tier PR, media, and all that kind of stuff, and round it out into something that's actionable, turn it into a lead magnet, but still use the power of the platform that was the authority. Okay. And so I gave you the example of my Thrive Global author article and how I can create a lead magnet behind that 5 years later to still make it valid. Number 9, proprietary case study releases. Okay, I gave you the example of Casey Brown, how she takes high profile people that are an example of her philosophies, vision, mission, and use them to get information out there about what she believes that leads people directly to her offers. Number 10, high profile guest or topic validation. So I gave you 4 things. Write about a validated, or, and when I say write, you can also turn it in many formats, right? You can write about them, you can do a video about it, but I'm just going to keep with writing right now. Write about a validated guest. Write about, have a validated guest write as a contributor for you. Write about a validated topic or write on a validated platform. All right. So those were the 10. Let's start with Dr. LaFera. Which 2 strategies would work great for positioning your particular brand for more visibility that will create more demand for your offers? And what obstacles might you have to implementing?
Well, I like most of the ones you said for me. Uh, but let's see, the ones that stood out. And I forget which one Casey was. That
Don't worry about the numbers. Just talk about
Okay.
the subject.
So for Casey Brown, like for me, that one I could highlight women, especially celebrities that are aging well, despite health challenges, are getting older, and talk about their stories and like about some of the things that I help people to do. And then as far as another one, well, I liked a few of them, but I like the Dexter one.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be doing series about, I could pick somebody and highlight how women, and be like the woman over 40 who's thriving despite what society um and stereotypes say that we should be doing. And
Mm-hmm.
on occasion, people with autoimmune disease, I could do the same thing. And then I like the future forecasting. So I could talk about health and longevity and disease like in the future and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Love it.
I liked all of them, but yeah, those
Cool,
kind of stood
cool.
out.
Look, and I take that. Let me tell you, because I know, again, I
I
can't
couldn't
never
pick.
say enough. I be knowing how much you have invested in marketing. So for you to see this visibility as something new and fresh that you can use and you like them all, I take that as a compliment. So thank you,
Why,
Dr. Lafayette.
thank you.
All right. Let's go to and look, thank you for getting that frog out your throat before you got out the mic.
I knew
All
you
right,
were
let's
gonna
go to
say
Cheryl.
something.
Let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, which 2 strategies would work great for positioning your brand for more visibility that will create more demand for your offers? And would you have any obstacles to implementing them?
No obstacles, but the first 2, signature visibility anchor, I
Mm-hmm.
actually am debuting that next week.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. It worked well for me before. I mean, it can literally skyrocket your business almost overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the strategic event hijacking.
Yes.
Um, Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Because if you are an expert, and I don't think any of us here are not experts in what we do, that's why we're here, that's why we do it. People listen. It's like when E.F. Hutton walks into the room, and that can not only drive your business sales, but your speaking opportunities. That's what happened with me in the bookstore. I do want to say
Mm-hmm.
you nailed it. If everybody is not doing the niche specific language
Mm-hmm.
domination and the future forecasting, they are leaving money on the floor outside in the yard, because that is what propelled me to the status of, oh, wait, there's Cheryl Ferguson. Now she X, Y, and Z. And people will call you and say, we need you to speak. We need you to do this. We just need you to show up and smile. And
Yeah.
it works. So and most people don't talk about that, Shay. Most people don't even know about it. So
I
thank
had
you
to
for
dig deep
adding
to
that
find this
because,
stuff. I had to dig deep to think.
yeah,
I was like, what is something different? Because we always talk about these things. And you guys know that even though this morning show is my signature visibility anchor right now, I'm looking to sunset this morning show at the end of this year.
hmm
And so I'm really looking at what gaps have I left in the things that I've taught you. So I'm digging deep to make sure I give y'all things that we haven't talked about before, but maybe in the same arena. So thank you for that, Shara. I appreciate
well,
it.
you're mining gold. So thank you.
All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya Davis. Which two strategies would work great for positioning your brand for more visibility that will create more demand for your offers? And would you have any obstacles to implementing them?
I think the one that stood out was like where you're contrarian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and although like I'm trying to lean into my thing mostly is like I know that this is what you've been taught, but this is better. But I don't really lead with that, right?
Ooh,
It's like once you come into the
that's a good
ecosphere,
series right there. That's a good one. I
yeah.
love it.
Well, which
Mm-hmm.
brings me to my next one, which was to do the short mini series. So
Yes.
I was thinking to do like a really just concentrated deep dive on some of
Mhm.
the topics and call it a series and the contrarian. So yeah, I'll think about putting those two together. I love
Yes.
that. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. And some of these things that you can kind of combine to have a heavy hidden strategy. For example, you can combine a case study as a mini series, right? So, for example, next up is Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. She can very easily put together a case study that is a mini series about video vixens that give high visibility value, and then she give a case study, and then we can look forward to that maybe every Friday, right? So she could easily do that. The contrarian was the future forecasting, Dr. LaFera. So it was number 7. All right, Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. I just gave you an example, but which two strategies would
No,
work
I was
great?
gonna say that because you were sure enough saying that I took it because what now I like that video vixen though. That's what I circled. I wrote that down real quick and circled it
Yeah.
because one of the things when you talked about signature visibility anchors, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to make more noise as it relates to the mini series type of campaigns and the case studies, also the case studies, and also bringing in that not only for me testimonials,
Mm-hmm.
also for example what I'm working on even right now is actually showing proof
Mm-hmm.
more proof. I have to be better about showing proof of the things that are done as it relates to even social media, not just video is
Yeah,
the social media portion. So yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
you own it, you are on it.
Yeah, because you're in the paid membership. So every Tuesday I do video vixen for y'all, where I share a video on some type of productivity, how to use your time, business growth type of thing every Tuesday. That's a content series. It's reoccurring. It's not limited, right? But it's gonna go into the future until I don't want to do it no more. But yeah, definitely video vixen is great. We know that started off as talking about the nice looking girls that were in music videos in our culture. So yeah, play on that. Cheryl, you want to add something?
Yes, with the niche specific language domination,
Mm-hmm.
what propelled me was um, when I changed the language, created a term around editing, which
Mm-hmm.
makes me so relative and relevant today that I am editing a book at least one a week, all year
Mm-hmm.
long.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking at editing, one stop editing is what you want. Because otherwise, you've got 4 or 5 different types of editing, depending on what school you were trained in. You've now got 5 editorial styles in your manuscripts, which will just blow it up. Nobody knows exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
With the future forecasting, what did it for me and is still doing it for me is ebooks. When I talk to people about ebooks, I had clients leave me saying, "You don't believe in me, this, that, and the other." No. New York and California, when it comes to publishers, They follow trends. As an ebook person, you can set the trend. You can give people what they want that New York and California won't give them in their traditional pub because it doesn't quote unquote make enough money.
Mm.
Now, what is New York and California doing? They're coming looking for EPUB authors. So it's like still people like, I need you to walk me through this. This is how I became a book coach. So just practicing some of these tactics, or all of them actually, can literally make you relevant for years to come. And that's longevity in your finances, in your business. You really do have freedom because now they look, oh, well, she was the one that first talked about this, or she's the one that first talked about it that made any sense. That's the ticket.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. That was confirmation. So speaking of value adds, does anybody have any questions, value adds, or nuggets from what we've talked about so far this week? So we're talking about positioning of things about your business for business growth. Do you have any questions or anything about offer and pricing positioning, perception and brand experience positioning? Today we talked about visibility and demand creation positioning. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about market authority, but so far, the three things that we've talked about, does anybody have any questions, value adds, or nuggets to share? Like Cheryl just shared some value
I
adds.
just can't wait to get these show notes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be a good one. Cool beans. I mean, this is why we say that our morning show is more of an interactive coaching experience, right? So yeah, love this for y'all. All right, let's go to what's happening in our free business mastermind this week. On tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I will live stream directly into our free group and do what we call Collab Live. Now, collaborations by themselves can grow your business. And so I facilitate collaborations within our network of our group every month. What your job is going to be to bring what you need as a collaboration, and then also what you're willing to give in exchange for that collaboration. And that makes it a win-win. So we do that tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. On Sunday night in the paid membership only, we start our 14-day August goals momentum sprint. Now, this sprint is the thing that basically is the price of admission for this membership. Like that membership is highly valuable in so many different ways, but this one event really kind of surpasses all the other value because people who participate have way more forward motion than the people who do not. Okay, so go to shaycannon.com/membership if you want to join. Go ahead and join before Sunday so you can go ahead and be a part of this event. All right. And with that, this has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and links to resources like how to join our free business mastermind group or how to get these 12 strategies on the show notes from today and recent past shows. Go to the description below. All right. Also, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up and like this episode. You know we gave you good value. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss a thing. And understand that today's video is going to be one out of a 4-video series. So check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.